Chapter 67-26. Charlie hung up the phone, and the plane was already accelerating on the runway to take off. Tavanna looked at him curiously and asked, "Mr. Wade, I'd like to ask who you were talking to just now. I heard that the other party is also going to hold a concert in East Cliff." Charlie smiled and said, "It's one of my sisters. She's also a singer, but she may not be as famous as you." "Really?" Tavanna felt relieved when she heard that it was her sister, and quickly asked, "What's the name of Mr. Wade's sister? I might have heard of her." "Sarah, have you heard of her?" "Sarah." Tavanna thought for a moment, nodded, and said, "Sounds familiar. She seems to be the most famous female singer in China, right? She had a concert tour in the United States some time ago." "Yes." Charlie nodded and said, "That's her." Tavanna exclaimed, "It turns out that she is Mr. Wade's sister. I remember the media reported that she was the Chinese singer with the best box office in the United States. And she's about to retire from the music scene, right?" "Yes," Charlie said. "She only has one concert left to perform in East Cliff for her farewell concert." Tavanna asked again, "I just heard that you were going to the airport to pick her up. Is she going back to East Cliff too?" "Yes," Charlie said. "She just happened to be coming back to rest for 2 months." Tavanna's mind became active, and after a moment she asked Charlie, "Mr. Wade, I wonder if I have the honor to invite Miss Gu to be the guest of my East Cliff concert." "Guest?" Charlie asked in surprise. "Why do you suddenly want to invite her as a guest?" Tavanna smiled and said, "Mr. Wade, it stands to reason that most concerts have to invite guests. And usually invite local well-known singers to be guests. The guests usually appear in the middle of the concert. But I decided to come to China to perform this time because I met you in Japan. So it was decided in a hurry, and there was no time to coordinate the singer resources in China. Miss Gu is very well known among the Chinese, and she is from East Cliff. If I can invite her to be a guest at my concert in East Cliff, it will be a great honor for me." The reason why Tavanna said this was because she heard that Sarah was Charlie's sister, and she wanted to give Sarah a face. There were too many singers who wanted to be her concert guest. After all, she had a huge flow of traffic. And being able to perform on stage at her own concert was equivalent to advertising for the singer herself. However, she was not sure whether Sarah, who was about to retire from the music scene, was still interested in her own stage. So she lowered her status and took the initiative to invite Sarah. Charlie was just listening to Sarah lamenting on the phone that she failed to get tickets for Tavanna's concert. But Tavanna suddenly wanted to invite her to be a guest performer. Charlie guessed that since Sarah liked Tavanna so much, she would definitely not refuse this invitation. And she would definitely be very happy. After all, this would not only allow them to see Tavanna's concert, but more importantly, the two of them could perform on the same stage and communicate face-to-face backstage. So, he said to Tavanna, "When I see her, I will convey your invitation to her and see if she is willing." Then, he asked her again. Your concert will start in 2 days. If we invite her now, will there be enough time for rehearsal? It's okay. Tawana smiled and said, professional singers have very good stage skills and don't need to prepare in advance. Even if her band members can't make it, she must have a lot of performance programs. Those programs are bundled with the songs. The accompaniment, harmony, stage lighting arrangement, and visual effects of a song have been run in many times and are very mature. The simplest way is for her to choose 4 or 5 songs and send the program files to our performance director. Then she can go on stage and sing directly. If she can sing my songs, we can also arrange a song for the chorus. When Charlie heard this, he smiled and said, since it's so simple, I believe she should agree. Chapter 67:27. Charlie did not tell Sarah about this matter the first time. After he and Tawana arrived in Eastcliff by plane, he did not leave the airport with her. He had already told Isaac that he would return to Eastcliff and stay at Wade's house tonight. So Isaac had been waiting at the airport for a long time. The plane landed in Eastcliff. For Tawana's privacy, the airport specially arranged a remote parking position. At this time, 2 VIP cars were already waiting there. One will pick up Charlie, and the other will pick up Tawana. Charlie and Tawana got off the plane together. Isaac was already standing outside the car waiting. Charlie told Tawana, you should have a good rest and prepare for the performance in the next 2 days. If there is any confirmed news from Miss GU, I will tell you. Okay, Mr. Wade. Tawana nodded respectfully. Watched Charlie get in the car, and then got in another one. In the car, Isaac asked in surprise, Master, why did you come to Eastcliff with Tawana? Charlie smiled and said, I am her feng shui consultant now. It just so happens that she came to Eastcliff for a concert. So I took this opportunity to come and see her. Isaac nodded and said, the master is waiting for you at home. Okay. Charlie nodded. Let's go see Grandpa first. Charlie and the old man of the Wade family had not been separated for long. The old man went to Oris Hill for the press conference of changing automobile some time ago. However, for Charlie, since he had already reconciled with the old man, the first thing he did when he returned to Eastcliff was to visit him at home. Just as Charlie was driving back to the Wade family, Tawana met with her team members, and they all went to the Shangri-La Hotel where they were staying this time. When Charlie arrives at the old house of the Wade family, the old man had been waiting for a long time. Seeing Charlie, he stepped forward quickly and said with a smile, Charlie, what a surprise. Charlie called him Grandpa and explained the general situation to him. The old man suddenly realized and sighed. Charlie, you are always like this. It's not appropriate to explain to your wife with various excuses. Have you ever thought about finding a suitable opportunity to tell her the whole story? Charlie shook his head and said, I haven't thought about it yet. Her temperament is different from that of ordinary girls. She is soft on the outside and strong on the inside. She doesn't mind that I am poor or incompetent. But she is most afraid of being deceived. If I tell her about these situations, she will not forgive me. Zheng Chuan smiled and said, "This is just your wishful thinking. Feelings are more important than anything else. She values you as a person, not whether you are poor or rich. I feel that I am getting older now. I hope you can return to normal family life as soon as possible. Have a frank talk with her. And don't have any grudges between the two. And then have 2 or more children." Charlie sighed, "Grandpa, I'm not just considering her sudden personality, but also the hidden dangers behind the whole thing." Zheng Chuan pulled him to sit down in the living room and asked with concern, "Are you still worried about the warrior's den?" "Not just the warrior's den," Charlie said. "Zheng Chuan, if you are willing, you can tell me in detail and we can have a good chat." Charlie sighed, "Let's not talk about the warrior's den for now. Grandpa should have heard about the character and temperament of my father-in-law and mother-in-law." Zheng Chuan nodded and sighed, "I have heard about it a long time ago. Especially your mother-in-law, she is really a rare talent. Your aunt has been spoiled for so many years and has only suffered at the hands of 2 people. One is you and the other is your mother-in-law." Chapter 67:28. Charlie said with concern, "I didn't tell Claire the truth, and it has a lot to do with the 2 of them. Claire is a very filial girl. If I tell her about it, she will probably tell her parents too. And my father-in-law and mother-in-law are not easy to deal with. If they know that my background is so powerful, I'm afraid they would be so proud of themselves. If they spread it to everyone, it would ruin my plan." "That makes sense." Zheng Chuan thought for a moment and nodded seriously. His in-laws are both very unstable factors. And when these 2 people go crazy, they will not care about anything, especially his mother-in-law. Thinking of this, Zheng Chuan felt a little melancholy and sighed. "Charlie, in the generation of your father, the Wade family only had this pillar of talent. In your generation, there is only you. In the next generation, I believe, only you can give birth to a descendant as outstanding as you and your father. So you can't always ignore the matter of offspring. Whether you want to confess to your wife in a short time or not, you must put the matter of having children first." Charlie nodded, "Grandpa, you have a point. I will consider this matter carefully. But I still think it's too early to have a child now. Victoria's revenge has not been avenged. If I want a child now, what if one day I can't defeat Victoria and die in an accident like father? What about my son then? Should I hide my son too and wait for him to grow up and avenge me?" Zheng Chuan was silent for a long time. His eyes were already a little red. After hesitating for a long time, he said, "A few days ago, I met Philip." So he asked, "What did you talk about with Uncle Jiyu?" The old man said with emotion, "Philip said that Sa is going to quit the entertainment industry. She plans to do nothing after quitting and stay with her parents. At this point, he paused for a moment, staring at Charlie with a pair of old eyes, and said seriously, "Wait for you. Put it together, it means waiting for you by your parents' side. Wait for me." Charlie suddenly remembered Philip's 3-year agreement. He said that he would wait for him to deal with the marriage problem in 3 years. And after 3 years, he would let him marry Sarah. At that time, he did not comment. After all, it was an engagement made by his parents. And Philip was his father's best brother. How could he refuse directly in front of him? But the days always go by day. 3 years have passed quickly. Seeing that Charlie didn't say anything, Zheng Xuan continued. "Philip is also worried about your next generation. He is a good brother of your father and cares about your father-son bloodline." Charlie always felt that his grandfather's words were full of meaning, so he said, "Grandpa, just say what you want to say, no need to beat around the bush. There are only the two of us here, and there are no other outsiders." Zheng Xuan nodded and said word by word, "Philip means that you can temporarily not marry Sarah. But he hopes that Sarah can have your flesh and blood first to carry on your family line." "How can this be possible?" Charlie stood up in desperation and flatly refused. "First, I can't give Sarah a name, and second, I can't bring the child with her calmly. This is inappropriate anyway. You are confused." Zheng Xuan rarely got angry in front of Charlie, and said sternly, "The Jiyu family is a well-known big family. Sarah is the only daughter of the Jiyu family, and the most famous singer among the Chinese. It is not an exaggeration to say that she is a princess that millions of people are paying attention to. Such a proud girl, Philip is willing to let her get pregnant before marriage and secretly give birth to your offspring. How dare you refuse? Where do you want Philip to put his face?" Zheng Xuan said again, "Let me tell you. This is not just Philip's idea. This is the highly unified idea of their family of 3. Chapter 67-29. The whole family of 3. Charlie was so shocked that he couldn't speak. After a long silence, he couldn't help asking, "Why did Uncle Jiyu make such a decision? This is unfair to Sarah. What virtue and ability do I have for them to treat me like this?" Zheng Xuan sighed. "I didn't understand it at first. I also tried to persuade Philip. But he had made up his mind and wanted me to persuade you. What can I say?" Charlie said anxiously. "This kind of thing should not be solved in this way. Haven't they thought about this matter? If it gets out, how much impact will it have on Sarah? Even if she quits the entertainment industry, she is still the most influential female singer in the country. The public and the media will always pay attention to her." Zheng Xuan said, "Don't worry about this matter. Philip has already thought of a solution. In order to spend his retirement years, he bought an island in the Maldives a few years ago and developed it into a hotel. Now he intends to stop the hotel business and turn it into his own private island. If Sarah is pregnant, he will take his wife and Sarah to live there for a while. The medical team will also be brought there directly from here, working all year round until Sa'a gives birth smoothly. This way, the secret can be kept to the greatest extent. Even if the outside world knows about it after the child is born, it doesn't matter. He wants that as long as the outside world doesn't know that the child's biological father is you, it will not affect you. After the child is born, they can live in the Maldives temporarily and return when he is 2 or 3 years old. You can also send him directly to the UK or the US to live. After you solve the problem of the warrior's den, they will bring the child to you. Charlie refused without hesitation. No, absolutely not. Zheng Chuan asked him. Charlie, have you made the worst day plan? What worst day plan? Zheng Chuan sighed and lamented. Some words are really discouraging. But you have to make the worst plan for everything. What if you have an accident one day in the future? Do you want the bloodline passed down by your parents to be cut off in you? Which of them was not a dragon and a phoenix among men? Charlie remained silent. Zheng Chuan struck while the iron was hot. There are 3 unfilial acts, and the worst is to have no descendants. It doesn't matter if we die, but our bloodline must be passed on. That's what Philip is worried about. Charlie said angrily, but what's the big deal? When Sa'a comes back with the child, will the paparazzi let her go? Will public opinion let her go? Zheng Chuan said, after the warrior's den is resolved, you won't have any worries, and your identity can be made public. As long as you give Sa'a a name, won't everything be solved? How can I do that? Charlie was already a little anxious, and his emotions were a little out of control. He said, I'm already married. You all knew it a long time ago. On one side is my wife who has never left me, and on the other side is the fiancé my parents arranged for me. What do you want me to do? Zheng Chuan said solemnly, you should know that your engagement with Sa'a is known to everyone in the world. Sa'a has publicly said that she entered the entertainment industry just to find her lost fiancé. You are Changjing's son, and she is Philip's daughter. The brotherhood between Changjing and Philip back then was also a good story in the Chinese business circles. If in the future you solve the warrior's den, and publicly return to the Wade family as Changjing's son, and publicly take charge of the Wade family, everyone will ask you a question. Do you know what it is? What is it? Chapter 67:30. Zheng Chuan sighed with regret. They will ask you since the great revenge has been taken. When will you marry Sa'a, who has been waiting for you for so many years? Tell me, if everyone in the world asks you this, how will you answer? Are you going to tell them that when you were poor and destitute, you married another woman outside? Are you going to tell them that even though Sa'a has done so much for you, you still stick with your original wife? Then how many people in the world do you think to respect you? How many people in the world scold you? By that time, how much pressure will the Wilson family girl face? How many people who admire Sa'a and are waiting to see her, and you get married will gossip about her? Have you ever thought about it? Charlie was speechless after being questioned by the old man. He knew that his grandfather was right. Claire is not a star and has no fans. Sarah is different. She has hundreds of millions of fans. Over the years, Sarah has had no gossip or scandals in the entertainment industry. Everyone knows that this only daughter of a wealthy family, with a net worth of hundreds of billions, came to the entertainment industry not to become famous, not to make money, and not to play, but to find a husband. It is precisely such a fresh and unworldly background that makes many people love her to the extreme. It can be said that there is no other female star in the entertainment industry who can do what she does except her. Many female stars have debuted for many years and have no gossip or scandals, but they finally married into wealthy families, and even married rich men, who were several dozen years older than themselves and older than their fathers. This gave their self-purification a strong purpose. How could these people compare with Sarah? Everyone knows that these days, if you want to be a fan of a female star who will never fall out, then you should be a fan of Sarah. If my identity as the heir of the Wade family is made public in the future, people will definitely ask me why I didn't marry Sarah. Someone in the world will definitely ask Claire why you don't take the initiative to withdraw. Charlie almost collapsed in an instant. He looked at the old man and said emotionally, "No matter what I do about this matter, it's wrong. It's wrong for me not to marry Sarah. It's still wrong for me to marry Sarah. It's still wrong for me to hide it from Claire. It's still wrong for me to tell her. I can still explain my concealment of my identity by saying that I haven't avenged the warrior's den. But after solving the warrior's den, if I still conceal my identity, it's still wrong. What should I do? How can I make all this have a perfect ending?" Joan Chuan had never seen Charlie so depressed. Even when he knelt down to worship his parents at the tomb, he had never felt so helpless. Although he was in pain and resentful at that time, he knew clearly what he wanted to do. He had a strong belief that drove him to take the next step. And now Charlie, in his opinion, is like a child at a loss. He felt a little distressed, patted Charlie's shoulder gently, and comforted him. "Charlie, if people can let go of overly high moral standards, many problems will be solved. The girl from the Wilson family treats you well. But you have treated her well during this period of time. Treating her parents with kindness is even more repaying grievances. If she really loves you, carries on your family line, and spends the rest of her life with you. Grandpa has nothing to say, but your feelings are not pure after all. Also, you said that once she knows your identity, she will be very disappointed. You bear the name of your parents. They died in vain and the whole world sighed and regretted. Once you have avenged your great revenge. You can't live in peace in a corner, you can't hide in the city. You can't let the whole world think that Changing and Margaret's son has died a long time ago. And you can't let them be gradually forgotten by the world. On the contrary, you must tell the world. You must let everyone know that Changing and Margaret's son is still alive. Their bloodline is not broken. You must also use your strength and your glory, and regain the awe of your parents. Let their names continue to be passed down. This is your duty and obligation as a child. If you agree with what I said, then I ask you, are you and the Wilson family girl destined to go your separate ways sooner or later?